On this episode of Pimp.177, I'm going to be talking about your setups you submitted for tips, tricks, feedback, and much more. So if you're interested in that, then sit back, relax, and interact because the show starts now.
It's time for the original setup show dedicated to providing you with tips, tricks, and feedback to pimp out your setup. Hosted by Matt Philly with new special guests every week. Coming at you live in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Pimp.177, episode number 177, recorded live on January 10, 2017. My name is Matt Philly. You can find me on Twitter at Matt Philly, and as always, we're joined by producer Tom, kind of. He's sick still. This really marks the 6th day of being sick, and I feel it's like night and day. I do feel a lot better, but still a little bit here and there, congestion, blah, blah, blah. So I don't sound 100% like myself, but we do have the annoying Tom coughing in the background time to time. He's going to try to... Damn it!
On cue.
You're going to hear him time to time, so I do apologize for that, but it's a lot easier having him produce. So anyways, we have a lot to talk about. Before we do that, setabaddicts.com. That's our Facebook group. We have a Setup Addicts Discord. Link for that is in the description. If you want to submit your setup, go for it. pimp.177.com/Q. We are booked past 276. So definitely a wait. Thank you to everybody that's been purchasing fast passes. It helps you skip the queue, but it really means a lot. We have 11 setups today. We already have fast passes queued for the next episode and everything. So more than enough people supporting us, and we really do appreciate that. But without further ado, let's hop into the first set of the day, submitted by Kenneth. He's 15, and he uses this setup for gaming and photo editing. His YouTube channel is literally called Just Me and My PC. So go check him out. Interesting username. I like the creativity there. Now, taking a look at this, it is just, a single photo. It is a nice, bright, chroma key green setup. I like what he's going for. But it's there's things I'm not a huge fan of, so I'm going to try to be quick and concise with a lot of these, mainly because we have 11 to go through today. But I think the first thing is the speaker. The left one's good. The right one, though, he knows if he points it to the left, it's just going to go towards the computer anyway. So he's like, I might as well just let it go the other way. But obviously that defeats the purpose of having a right speaker. Now, the other thing is the just straight up usability. I think what you're going for is nice in theory, but it just looks a little bit odd. It looks a little bit off. You have the long Linmon, so you need the leg in the middle. And that's kind of like why you pushed yourself to the left a little bit, but also to make room for the PC. But by doing so, it just looks a little odd. It looks a little bit off. So I really want to know everyone's thoughts on the usability and what he should do to improve this and, make the speaker situation a lot nicer. I think really what he's going for with theme is not my favorite thing in the world. Yeah, he's got his GPU box, which is a 770. So he's got that, but then he's also got his 1080. So I guess he has like the old and the new kind of thing, which is cool. And it shows a little bit about what he's into. And it's not over the top. It's not like he has 400 boxes like we usually see, but he has 400 CDs or DVDs. DVDs. So that I'm not a huge fan of, but if he still is constantly using physical media, then that's the way to use it. That's how it's going to work. You know what I'm saying? Now, the turtle thing and like the clock, and I should probably turn that off. But yeah, like that stuff, I'm not a huge fan of. But if it has some sort of like sentimental value to it, where it's like the clock my grandma gave me, I don't know. But like if that's what it is, then all right. But otherwise, I don't really care for it. I don't care for the mirror the way it is. It's just sort of like a all over the place setup. Like a lot of people said, you're going to want to put the PC on the floor at the end of the day, even though it's not like you got NZXT Plus rocking on there. So if you did, I'd be like, oh, you want the light show. But yeah, so I think that's just what it comes down to. It's a nice setup. The idea is there, but it could be executed a little bit nicer. So that's how I feel. Now, this next one is going to throw you for a loop. All right. Now, this is Will's setup. He likes to play games and make YouTube videos. And even with your mic off, Tom, just throw out a number. How old?
20.
You'd be really bad on a game show.
Oh.
He's 8 years old. I think that is a tie for the youngest submission we've ever received.
That.
Why? What are your thoughts? He's got to turn to my guy's got some thoughts.
He's a fucking ultra wide. What's going on here?
Yeah,
he has so much equipment. How is he 8 years old? Right? Because you usually joke about that. That's the thing. You're always like, no, he's 59.
Yeah.
He's 8 years old?
He's 8 years old.
Because so actually someone on the Pimp My Setup submissions is actually 7 years old and I accepted him. So we might be seeing him in 100 episodes.
Well, yes.
That's crazy.
Yes, thank you for your input, Tom. Tom is right, though. He has an ultra wide. That's one of the things I was going to hit on. You know, I understand having the Wii U. You know, maybe I can understand having like the little laptop, which I think is just an iPad in a case. I could maybe not. I gotta try. I don't know. I could be mistaken. You know, I can understand having the small TV for his Xbox or whatever. Yeah, his Xbox. But having an ultra wide is kind of where I had that moment of, oh, like I wanted to say like, oh, dude, like, great job, you know, it just needs a little bit of this and that. But bro, he's 8 years old and he has an ultra wide amongst other things. So here's the thing. The second photo, Will, you know, I like what you're going for, but you know, yes, you put the power strip and stuff to the bottom of the desk, but you got to complete the puzzle. You know, you can't just open the puzzle. You got to put the pieces in order. So, you know, you gotta play with those cables and get them neat. Get a Signum, get all those cables tidied, and then also having the two computers. Yes, it's badass. You know, you got the one in the Corsair case, and you're 8. I mean, that's insane. But then you also have like the pre-built one. Do you need both? Okay, because I don't think I even need two computers next to me. So if you don't need it, I think you want to get rid of the pre-built. And then unless you're like a streamer and you have like your stream PC and then you have your gaming PC.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Right? He's like, yeah, dude, I'll have dual PCs because I'm a streamer on Twitch. I'm a partner, dude. But what I would say is definitely want to clear up your leg room. I know you're 8, so you probably have legs the size of toothpicks, but the idea is just for long term and the overall usability. Now, speaking of usability, I think that's another huge issue. The monitor arrangement is just awful. You know, you're 8, but I'm assuming your parents would have helped you do this. I doubt you've mounted the monitor the way you did by yourself. I highly doubt that. And if you did, then holy crap. Who knows? Maybe he lives by himself. He pays his own mortgage already, and he's like, yep, man, I can afford a ultra wide, no big problem. But yeah, I really think what you need to do is get the monitor situated, put the ultra wide dead center, have the other one off to the side, and then the one on top. Do you really need it? I would say no. And the out of sight, out of mind is not good at all. You have way too much on your desk. You need to really take the clutter elsewhere. All the games need to get cleaned up. Everything needs to get cleaned up. You know, everything. So I'm not going to spend too much time. I think theme isn't awful. I think it's cool. You got all the Minecraft figures and stuff. So it's not a bad setup. It's just you need to get the usability out of sight, out of my wire, man. You need to get everything fixed. Anyways. Cool, Will. God, Will. All right. Next setup submitted by Andrew. He's 14. He built this desk with his grandpa. The only spot that he could put his monitor arm is right there, which we're gonna talk about. But he likes to program, and he even said, "Give me the 100." Spoiler: you definitely didn't get 100. You have no theme. You're lacking, I think, in accessories. I think that's safe to say. And on top of that, you're also yeah, outside out of mind isn't really bad, but it's like, why do you need some of that stuff? And then, I mean, yeah, you're missing out on speakers. You're like, I don't know. It's just, it could definitely be better. So here's the thing. My main problem is you're sitting there and your monitor is not centered to the desk you built. You built the desk. You cannot blame the manufacturer for building a desk that doesn't let you mount the arm where you want it. That is like one of the worst excuses I've ever heard. And yes, it's a very nice desk. I don't know if you really built like the drawers and all that underneath. That's very nice. It is a clean job, and the top is very nice as well. But you built the desk. Yeah, I don't know if that sounds harsh, but like, you built it. There's no, and I also don't want to be a dick because you built it with your grandpa, and I think that's awesome. but why is it overhang the side? Like the desk overhangs I thought the whole idea of having the underpieces is to support it. So yes, having it closer to the middle is support, but like you built it custom, so it should, the end of the drawers underneath should meet the end of the desktop. I hope that makes sense. I don't think that this is. It looks like he bought it. I don't know. It looks like he bought the desk and just maybe stained the top piece or something. I don't know. I'm not gonna assume that, even though people in the chat are assuming that. It's just the monitor alone just kills usability, and it's not even on. Like it's probably ran off the laptop, but like at least have the monitor on, dude. So I'm really disappointed in this setup because it's such an open, empty, clean room. It's a clean slate. So I definitely think, you have to figure out that. And someone said, you're not trying to be a dick, but you are a dick. It's like, okay. I mean, it's not really my fault. I don't think I'm being too far off here with the truth of what people are thinking. So anyways, let's get to the next setup. Next setup of the day is submitted by Christian. Now, Christian, here we go. Finally, a setup that has some life and it looks good. He's 27, currently finishing up his master's degree. He wants to get things like LEDs, a new headphone stand, and he wants to swap out the Flash poster for a Batman one. So, cool. That would follow suit with the other poster, I would say. So, that's cool. Now, I think with this setup, if we go to the next photo, you kind of get like a more of a desk shot. Very simple. I think this is the combo a lot of people are doing now. 2 Alex drawers, the countertops, very nice, sturdy, good stuff. I like it. It's simple. It works. So I think it fits this part of his room perfectly. I think the computer to the right side might be a little tight, just a little. So hopefully there is ventilation for the computer, and then like that, just that wire, I guess, is for the headphones. So if you get the headphone stand, that'll help out a lot. But as long as there's ventilation over there, you should be fine. Now, the other thing is breaking it down category by category. Usability, you sit there, it's nice. Out of sight, out of mind, yes, but it's not always a good thing. Out of sight, out of mind doesn't mean nothing on your desk. It means just things that you use on a daily basis. So accessories, he's going to lose points here because he doesn't have everything a normal setup would. We don't see speakers. Yes, he has headphones, but speakers, come on, dude. Everyone wants to listen to some music out loud for once. He's not always wearing headphones. Yes, he has the microphone, which is cool and everything, but think about when he pulls it out with that sounds weird. When he takes the monitor, the microphone out, isn't it like blocking the webcam a little? It depends on the angle, I guess, but based on the photo, it looks like it could be an issue. So yeah, I mean, I like what he's going for. Yes, LEDs will definitely help. Yes, adding a headphone stand will add points to accessories. Those are great things to do. I just feel like the desk is lacking a little bit of love, a little bit of like what you're going for, because in the first photo we see you have that double shelf off to the left. That's cool. It does look a little cramped there though. So maybe, take something down, put it on the left side, take something down, put it on the right side. I think that'd be a great solution to your lack of, like spreading your theme, I guess, if you could say that. Let's go to the next setup though, submitted by Alan. He's 16. He likes basketball, hockey, and computer design. He uses his Mac for schoolwork and his PC for gaming plus photoshopping. So this one, your very old desk that your mom probably bought you, and he did a great job with it. That's usually people's biggest downfall, is being stuck with a desk like this. But if you look, single monitor setup, boom, it works. Yeah, it might not be the biggest thing in the world, and it might be a little tight at times to where you're like, I wish I had a bigger one, but it works. So yes, obviously, if I had to make, a recommendation to the next step for this setup, I would say a new desk. But I think using what you have now, it's not hindering your score. I think you're fine. The only thing it might be hurting is just the stuff on top. Yes, it's school related, so I didn't take off for it being like out of sight, out of mind, like, oh my god, because it's technically on a shelf, and it's related to what you use every day, so I think it's fine. So yeah, I think it's not bad at all. It's just hard to do a theme. He's got what are those, the Toronto, San Jose Sharks. I knew it. I was gonna say, yeah, I was gonna say that anyway. So, which is cool, but it's like the poster won't look as cool. The jersey won't look as cool. You know what I mean? So, if you had no hutch, it would look a lot nicer. Plus, the keyboard's a little big and maybe a little weird. So, anyways, I like what he's going for, though. I really do. I really, really like the overall room, and I think if he gets a new desk, it'll be really, really nice. Anyways, let's go to the next setup submitted by Garret. Now, Garret's 18. He's a photographer. He loves Star Wars, reading and listening to 21 Pilots. He does like gaming. Rock on, dude. But yeah, I think this setup is another one where maybe if you look at the next photo, the hutch could hurt, but also help. You know, it's a little cramped. I think the boxes, especially on the top, are hurting it. But I think the bottom shelf is helping it, you know, because that's way more personal and it looks nicer. And the top is definitely more crowded and random boxes and things of that sort. So I would clean that up. Now, looking at the actual, like, behind the monitor in the second photo, you can see, like, he's got posters and, like, it looks a little weird there. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about that. But then in the first photo, you can see he's got the books and stuff. It says, "Welcome to my setup." Did you see that, Tom? Yeah, I didn't know you could zoom in with the scroll wheel.
Yeah. I don't like doing that. It's just annoying. You can just double click on me.
Yeah, but you could also zoom into the "Welcome to my setup" thing. Oh, he gave me the finger. Okay. So, also, he has an old school sharpener right there. Right. Yeah. I thought that was interesting. I thought it was a little weird. A little interesting. Now, he also has books holding up his main monitor, which I'm not a fan of. His cable management, it's probably not awful, but having those cables lay right there, not behind the backboard, hurts the score. You know, it could look a lot nicer with no work, really. So, yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's like the desk hurts it, I think. It's just... It's not like it's very bland. Very cluttered and bland. I guess. I think. I don't know. I really don't have much to say about this setup. I was looking for Tom. You know, no. You don't have to.
I'll tell you this up.
Okay.
All right. Get a new desk.
All right. You heard it here first, boys. Get a new desk. I think that's really what it comes down to. I don't think it's awful. I just don't think it's got a wow factor. And someone said yes, it's missing something. It is. I don't think he can really put a theme because of the way the hutch. I don't know. I digress. Let's go to the next setup, though, submitted by Erik. Now, Erik's setup, well, he's 17, and his theme is Coca-Cola, and he loves to change his setup around. If you look at the top shelf, at the top of the photo, that literally has a case of soda, a can, and everything else, a bottle, glass, whatever. All Coca-Cola themed.
Except for Monster.
Well, yeah, he's got a Monster thing. That's weird.
Etch-a-sketch.
Yep. So I thought that was interesting. Like, I mean, his whole email was about how much he loves Coke. And he said, "I love Coke, but I'm not fat." So he just kind of like straight up offended me, but whatever, you know. So I think the setup, the setup. Okay, can we cancel out the background? Just everything but the desk and what's on the desk. Forget that exists, right? It's a great setup. Okay, now cancel out the desk and look at everything else. Way too cluttered. Such a mess. Needs some help. And I think there's a squirrel walking around on the shed. Did you hear that? Kind of scared me a little. But yeah, I think the shelves are just way too much, dude. So much. Oh, it needs to be cleaned up, like just now or yesterday. It definitely does. The setup itself, though, very nice. Very, very cool. You need to utilize the right side of the desk, I think, unless you're, I guess, writing some stuff up every so often on paper, but that's what I would say. I don't think it's I think it's a confusing setup because the back takes away from how simple and nice and neat and usable the actual setup is. You know what I'm saying? So it's not terrible. It's just you kill the clutter, it'll look 10 times better. And like maybe add another shelf underneath the Coke one because that looks like way too much on one shelf. You know, at first glance, I couldn't even tell you that was Coke. You know, like the only thing that would give it away is the cardboard case. Everything else, though, it's like, whoa, you have to really look to see what it is. So, yeah, definitely think it's got potential, just not done perfectly. Now, his next setup is submitted by Jack. He's 17. He uses this setup for gaming and productivity. He wants to pursue audio engineering in the near future as he wants to work on web development. Now, here's the thing I thought was a little bit weird. He wants to do audio engineering, but I feel like the placement of the speakers is not like, look how far pushed over the one on the left is, and look how close the one on the right is to the, and then like his monitor is more to the right side than it is to the left. So I feel like he just needs to like put everything back into the center and like really just push the speakers to where they should be. So I thought that was weird. Plus he's using a snowball, so but also the snowball is like in a terrible spot because it hits right into the speaker. So speaker should probably be pulled back a little and centered with the monitor, and I feel like that would work a lot nicer. And then everyone's freaking out about actually two things: the My Little Pony to the left, and about the two mice. So I guess yes, one is for gaming, the Logitech one, and then one is for just, you know, daily use. So that's what he's doing with that. But as surprising as it may seem, it didn't get like the best score ever, although it should have, because the usability hurt it. Wire management seems good, but like accessories, pretty good. I just think theme kind of killed it. There's nothing. It's just so bland. It's pretty straightforward. It's just two speakers, two mice, keyboard, monitor, and his computer off to the side. Which computer looks really cool off to the side like that. I do like that. I like the lighting. I like the LEDs going on. I just think you need to kind of make it yours now. You know, that's what you got to do. So if you're going for My Little Pony, you know, spread that through the rest of the theme. So that's what I would say. Now let's go to the next photo. This setup, staying right here, submitted by Dean. Dean is 21. He was on episode 54, and I told him I did not like the couch where it was because it killed usability 100%. Now, he said that he actually never really uses it, so he got rid of it. Now, before we move on, he said that he, you know, was moving stuff around, and then he decided, you know what, I want to streamline everything, which, you know, included getting an HDMI switch, so what he was doing on this could go on that, and it, you know, everything just works together. So when doing that, he also wanted to get two Ledmon desks, which gave him way more room, obviously, because look at what he has now. And then he also picked up 3 Signums, Velcros, zip ties, all that stuff. Now look at it. Yeah. Now, the photos aren't the best quality, and he had to do panoramics just to get everything, you know, in the shot. So I think there's 4 photos. That, and then I think one more. Yeah. So first off, staying on that photo, it looks like a movie because like the black bars. But yeah, cable management. There's a lot of cables. And they're gone. They're off the floor, which is a nice thing. I bet that feels good for him. Moving his legs around and not hitting anything, because that's always an annoying thing to deal with. I'm sure getting a cable out of there is going to be hard, but that's not what we're worried about right now. Now, going to the photo before that, we get just a view of basically not his primary side, the behind him section. So you guys know I'm not a huge fan of boxes. He's got it hanging on hooks, which I think is a very interesting thing to do. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So I guess it depends on, you know, you, and I think he likes it, so that's fine, but I'm not a huge fan. I like the graphics card though, the whole shelf of graphics cards. That looks really, really, really cool. I think that's really personal. I like it. Now the wall art there, really, really nice. The guitar, all that stuff is really cool and personal. I like it. Now focusing straight, like on this photo, on that photo, looking straight ahead for the photo, that's where it's a little like, I don't think it's awful, but I think my main thing with this is it's just, it's too much. It's still really, really, really crowded. The cables that are sticking out over there, I guess, are plugged in and out pretty often. But it is just a little too crowded for my liking. I don't mind the games being on the shelf like that, on the windowsill, whatever. That looks cool. Someone said black blinds would look really cool. It definitely would. I think it would go with the room a little bit more. I like the TV on top, stuff like that. Now, if we go to the picture before this, you'll see what he's working with for his setup itself. Now, it's a hard one because it feels like there's still, like, outside of mind, he can clean it up a little bit. But I'm not sure how I feel about the right monitor, hanging off the desk completely like that, hanging off completely to the right side for usability. Is it super usable? Can you see the full screen moving your head? That's what I'm wondering. So it's just interesting to me. I know having not a lot of room, you don't have many options, but that's why I think if you were to like condense, you might be able to have the the monitor off to the other side. It all depends. I know it's probably not the easiest thing in the world, but an interesting setup to say the least. Very, very interesting. I think the far back photo, the first one, is really what says it all about that monitor. It just looks a little like with that monitor sticking out, it might be annoying, but I could see how, as long as he could see the full screen without straining his neck on a daily basis, I think it's the best solution, because he's still able to get his TV in there, even though most people would not even bother. He's able to fit a lot in such a small space, and it doesn't feel super cluttered, but I get the cluttered feel, and I still think there's some condensing that can be done. And yes, the mug is actually, in that photo, it does look like it's fallen off, mainly in the first one, but yeah, right? Does it look like it's fallen off?
Yeah, it just because the arm thing.
Yeah, the handle. But yeah, a lot of electricity coming from this room, to say the least. So, not a bad room though. The before and after is just night and day. That looks like shit. And you go to that. That's just like way better utilization of such a small amount of space. So, great job, great improvements. Let's go to the next setup. Submitted by Alex. Alex is 15. He uses the setup for editing videos, playing video games, and watching YouTube as well as Netflix. He's still figuring out what to put on the right side of the wall, and he's actually on Twitter at Appins Gaming. I'm familiar with his Twitter. That's what he was telling me. Yeah, he's been around for a long, long time, so that's cool. So, take a look at this. Love, hate. So simple, yet I feel like the simplicity killed it by putting the receiver on the ground. Yes, it's not directly on the carpet, but you got to use it with your feet. And even then, like, that's just annoying. If you turn to the right, it's like in a terrible spot, and you have the room on your desk. Having speakers that big, that's your first downfall. They probably sound amazing. They probably are amazing. But is it worth taking up a majority of your desk with them? If so, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. It's just that's part of having the receiver. You know what I mean? So you gotta weigh out your the pros and cons for this, if it's worth it, if it's really a good benefit. So that's what I would say. If you want to sell it or whatever, it could be beneficial to get smaller speakers. But I think it's definitely interesting. It's hard because you have the corner monitor and it looks lopsided, but I think that's just a photo. Doesn't one in the corner?
It's leaning on the mouse pad.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I didn't think it would lift it up that much. How thick is that mouse pad? Yes, everyone's freaking out that it's on there. So, I do think it's, obviously having the monitor like that's a huge issue. So, it's the desk, mainly the desk. If the desk was bigger, you wouldn't have that issue because your mouse pad shouldn't be that close to the monitors. You know what I mean? So, it's also hard because it just doesn't look comfortable. I don't see that being a comfortable setup, a comfortable workflow for editing and sort of like multitasking. So that's just how I feel. But the thing is, the right monitor looks way more sexual. thin bezel, just looks brighter and everything. But I don't know. Maybe the one in the middle that you use primary is the better one since it is your primary. I don't know. I just don't get the right vibe from it. Now, the other thing is obviously what you mentioned, the right side. Yeah, definitely need something there. That's going to kind of determine your theme, because as of right now, I don't really know what your theme would even be, like what it is that you're trying to go for. So that's another thing. The LEDs are nice. Cable management's very good. Good job. It's not easy with this desk, and having that like loom, whatever, go straight down is not a big deal. It's okay to see your cables being managed as long as they're being managed. You know what I mean? So, and then yes, the other thing someone just pointed out, having the headphones on your PC like that. Now that is one of the stupidest things you could do, because you're literally stretching the headband out. You don't want to do that unless you have a Hey Arnold head. So, yeah, obviously you want to get yourself a nice headphone stand for that. But I think that was pretty obvious. Then again, if it was obvious, you probably wouldn't be doing that. So, it's hard. The speakers, the monitor, the desk, it's hard to make it work. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I would love to hear it. Let's go to the final set of the day, submitted by Teemu. Teemu is 30. Now, staying on this photo, this was his setup. Now, he's been on episode 55 and episode 72. I think this was from episode 72, if I'm not mistaken. I would hope so, because should be his latest photo. So this was his spot. I remember, I think he was in Spain or something, and he was like not going to be here forever. I don't know if he's still in Spain for his new setup, but I think he's in a new house. Like a new spot, a new place. And we loved this setup. We really, really, absolutely loved it. And, I want to give a shout out to Teemu. This is his third Fast Pass. Huge support. Appreciate it. And I feel like his setup just gets better and better and better. But there's just something, the reason we're staying on this photo is because there's just something so satisfying about the white just all over the place. It's just so good. And the Joker, I mean, the canvas, everyone was like, where do I get that? It was just such a beautiful setup, so incredibly done. Really, really like it. Now, since he's in a new spit, so yeah, he wanted to kind of switch it up. So because of that, here is his new setup. Holy shit! What? Say what? Now, staying on this photo, you would probably say, how could it get any better? Or how could it not get 100? Well, here's the thing, boys. Here's the thing. All right. So if you go to the next photo, this photo as well is just like, God, look at the cable management. Look at the overall sexualness. But then I had a thing where I went to the third photo and I just kind of lost my boner for a second because Tom doesn't like that. The reason I say that is because if you look at behind the PC, I feel like maybe this is just like not a forever thing. Like maybe it was temporary to the point where he just didn't finish it. But like, you just like gotta take those cables and Velcro them or cable wrap or put it in like a loom or something like that and just keep them all in one tube. And it would look, I would literally have given this a freaking 100, bro. But even in that photo, you look at the NES cable, it's just like straight out curved down. But that's for the controller actually. Oh, so forget what I said about that. But still, coming out of the PC is just disrespectful. No, that's the one part that really just, and I hate to say it because he would have gotten such a good score because let's stop, talking shit about that, but go to the first photo for him. I mean, just look at that setup. He's got, I think it's a Shawshank Redemption canvas. I think that's what he said, which looks, he's obviously a fan of canvases. He's always swapping his canvases, which is really, really cool. He's got, if you look to the left side, he has the Star Wars characters, like the olden days. I love those. Yeah, well, I know, I don't want to, because that hurts people's feelings. I've seen those photos, though. I think they're freaking cool. I think we've seen the Stormtrooper one more often than any other, but I just love, he's got the wine. Oh, it's right. No, kind of like some, yeah. Like the little plant thing. It's just a very beautiful, nice setup. you know, the NES Classic, everything. Just such a great setup. The drawers, the desk, it's all gorgeous. It's a beautiful, beautiful setup. And I just wish we didn't get that last photo, because that's really what it's all about. It's the deception, the angling. That's what it's all about. So I'm kind of happy we've seen this because it makes a lesson for other people. But Teemu, I'm telling you, man. That was the other thing. Speakers. I was looking at the score. I gave him 8 for accessories because he has everything except speakers. He's got his headphones, whatever, but like, where are your speakers, dude? That's the other thing. Because adding speakers makes this setup 10 times harder to do.
We got speakers in the previous setup.
Yep. But he's not going for the white anymore, you know? So maybe that was why. But think about that. That's the other thing. Like we saw with Trisky's setup yesterday or 2 days ago or whatever. The thing is, it's so easy to have a simple single monitor setup. But think about having a triple monitor setup with no speakers. You don't have to be worried about where you would put them. You know what I mean? Do you put them overhead? Do you put them down below? Do you put them to the side? What do you do? So that's what I'm saying. It just adds like sort of difficulty to it. So not doing that is just like kind of an easier way out. So no speaker. He got 8, 10, 10, 8, 10, which got him a 92. Should have been 100. But I'm sure he'll be back again with probably a new house and a new room eventually in the next year or so. But insane, amazing setup. Amazing. Like Teemu, amazing. And someone said I like the white one better. So that's a good question. Do you guys like the white setup that we saw before? You don't have to skip back to it. That's fine. Do you like we'll see it later anyway. Do you like the white one more or do you like the new one more? Let me know down below. By dropping a comment. But anyways, let's do scores. Kenneth 70, Will 54, Andrew 74, Christian 84, Alan 78, Garret 72, Erik 80, Jack 72, Dean 86, Alex 80, Teemu 92. But now he knows he lost 2 points to wire management, 2 points in accessories. I think it's pretty fair. The chat saying white. So racist. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, guys, that is it for this episode of Pimp My Setup, episode number 177. We're live on January 10th, 2017. My name is Matt Philly. Follow me on Twitter. I'm Philly. Don't forget to check out Thomas, the producer, at Thomas Philly. And that's going to do it. I need to blow my nose. Thanks for watching. I'm going to dab. No, I'm not. All right. See you later.